Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. We gather today on this last Sunday in the church year to celebrate the festival of Christ the King. Marion has designed a service that is intended to, in a sense, take us through the church year, to remind us of how we have observed throughout the year those festivals in the life of Christ and the events in the life of Christ that let us know that Christ is the one who in fact rules everything. And so we will be talking about that as we move through the service, and we will be using music that will be from different parts of the church year. So there will be some Christmas music and a few other things, and we're not starting Christmas early. It's just that we're celebrating all of the festivals of church year. So, take a moment to say good morning to each other. We gather on this last Sunday of the church year to say Christ is King. We want to say that what the whole entire church year has been about is that God is the one who rules time and eternity, and that especially as God demonstrated the way he lived and worked in Jesus Christ, that is carried out in Jesus Christ. We also gather on this day to observe a day where we think about bread for the world and the whole problem of hunger in our world. And it seems that maybe those two events don't fit really well together. it would seem that if Christ really is in control, the one who comes to be God in the flesh, the one who throughout the Old Testament kept on saying to people, remember the poor and the widows, remember the people who are sojourners, the people passing through the land. Once you were people who passed through the land, God took care of you, God fed you. Now guess what? If you're going to be my people, then you need to be people who operate that same way. You need to be taking care of people who are not able to take care of themselves. So if Christ really is the king, if he has conquered all obstacles, then why are there these hungry people in the world? Let me read something. Boots was kind enough to pull an opinion section from the Seattle Times for the 21st. Amy Goodman. In the next 60 seconds, 10 children will die of hunger, says the United Nations World Food Program. For the first time in humanity, over 1 billion people are chronically hungry. She goes on to talk about the information that even in our own country, that in the United States, as around the world, there isn't enough food to go around. Or excuse me, it's not that there isn't enough food to go around, it's that people are in poverty. And then at the conclusion of her article, she had pointed out that it would take something like $44 billion per year to end hunger globally, compared with the less than $8 billion pledged recently to that goal. But you put that next to the statistics and cost of war, and she quotes it here, according to the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, the U.S. has spent on average about $265 million per day since the invasion of Afghanistan in 2001. That's a lower estimate than lots of other people are giving. But at that rate, even at that rate, 5 months of military spending by the U.S. would meet the goal of the $44 billion. And that's only if the United States participates. So we somehow or other in this world where Christ supposedly rules, we are able to spend millions per day and billions in several months to kill people. But we are not able to use the assets that we have and the food that is in fact available to spend the money to make sure that that gets distributed properly. But some of us may sort of feel, but okay, that's a global national problem. I don't know what we can do about all of that. Well, really, is Christ king in our individual lives? Just from our own congregation, in the past year, we have had a number of people who have died. If Christ really is the Lord of life, then why does death keep on running rampant in our world, in our own lives and in our own families?